Well, we may be 48 hours late, but Happy New Year. 2025 has rolled around, and it's not just a new year, it's a new season. As both the Ayersville and Fairview boys basketball teams start the GMC tonight. Somebody will be 1-0 in conference play when the buzzer sounds after the fourth quarter. We welcome you aboard, everybody. DCTV is on the air. Our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. As you see, Ayersville coming into today's contest at 3-5. The Apaches of Fairview at 3-3. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Clinton Street in Defiance, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Check out their great selection of new and used vehicles. They understand in today's market, used means quality. They've got cream puffs, not lemons. Broken in, not broken down. If you can't view their selection on their campus in person, you can always check them out online at drivebobestel.com. Again, Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. We're 15 minutes away from tip-off. Hit the reset button, Claire. Every coach talks about it. I don't care what level you're at, whether it's the pros, the college, and at the high school level. You've got a month underneath your belt, but now it starts in earnest.
It's always nice to have that holiday break where you get a few extra practices in. You don't have schoolwork typically. Usually they don't assign homework over the holidays, but even if they do, you're not going to class. So you can really focus on basketball, practice, and whatever the coach has assigned you to work on in your little break. Usually you get, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day off, and then on the 26th, you're in the gym at 9 a.m. or whatever random time to try and turn the page on the season. Regardless how well your fall went, you want to start new in January.
Yeah, to paraphrase the musical artist Zayd Wolf, we're back at it. We're going to take a quick timeout. I had a chance to stop out at an Ayersville practice yesterday. We're going to hear from head coach Logan Wolfrum on his team's performance up to date. They're finally coming off a big win after that loss to Napoleon, but they got right back at it the next night, a win over Holgate. On the flip side for Fairview, again, they're trying to go above the 500 mark. Our player profile is going to be senior point guard Owen Lloyd. But first, we'll hear from Coach Wolfrum when we come back. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestel.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Welcome back, DCTV Sports on the air as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. As you can tell, we are at the hangar. It is time for GMC basketball, boys style, as the Pilots will welcome the Apaches of Fairview. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us. We've just heard from Coach Wolfrum. Time now for our player profile. Now, I got to ask you, Owen Lloyd, multi-sport athlete, you are listed at 5'10" on the roster. Come clean, is the roster accurate?
Little generous, but pretty close.
We'll go ahead and say 5'10". If he says pretty close, then we're going to trust this young man's honesty right now. Multi-sport athlete, football, basketball, baseball. Let's start with this season. You okay with it? I know football season did not go the way you wanted. Injured in the season opener, correct, at Swanton?
Yep.
And then I kept thinking I'm going to interview this guy sometime over the next 9 weeks. Didn't get the opportunity. What was your rehab like?
It was long, but it was worth it, I guess.
What'd they have you doing?
A lot of strengthening in the shoulder, just stretching out, waiting, I guess.
Waiting. Everybody's been waiting.
Yeah.
How tough was that? Because I know you're a competitor, having to watch. How much did that eat at you?
It was pretty tough just sitting on the sideline and not be able to do anything. Going 1-9, I mean, it's tough, but had to wait, I guess.
But now he's bionic, and he's ready to go. You're 100%?
Yeah, I'm 100%. All good.
What was it like trying to get back into basketball shape?
It was a lot of conditioning, but I'm ready now.
Okay. Let's go ahead and talk a little about your role. You were a letter winner last year on a senior-laden team. This year, a lot younger. What did the coaching staff tell you they wanted your role to be this season?
Just to help out the younger people and take more shots, help the offense out, yeah.
The coach said you're a leader, but you're often a leader by example. Are you okay with being vocal if you need to be?
Sometimes. I don't like to talk that much, but
sometimes you got to, though, right?
Yeah.
Kind of drown out, don't be an anonymous voice in the chorus. Let's talk a little bit about, we talked about your role as a leader, but let's start at the offensive end. Coach said he wants you to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
How so?
Getting downhill, shooting my shot. I look to pass more than I shoot, but yeah.
You can do both. It doesn't have to be pass or shoot, right?
Yeah,
You can be pass and shoot. You got a double-double in you this season?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, I set him up, and he just completely didn't take it. What is your shot?
Three-pointer, corner.
I was going to say, it looks like you like to camp in the corner a little bit. You also cut, though. Coach gives you credit for being one of the better cutters on the team.
Yeah.
How physical do you have to be when you're working your way through the paint?
You just got to set your defender up and look for openings.
Coach also gives this young man credit for being one of the 2 best on-ball defenders on this roster. What's it take to play good defense?
Just being quick and reading your defender, helping out the others, I guess.
There's an attitude, though, to it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, being a good defender doesn't make the highlight reels at 6 and 10, but it's important.
Yeah, you just got to be hard-nosed and ready to make a play, I guess.
Well, speaking of defense, my understanding is you're going to draw Panico for Fairview, so it's going to be best on best, at least to open up the game. What's the key to slowing him down?
Not let him shoot, make him dribble the ball, get downhill. That's about it.
The term is student athlete. You got to stay eligible to stay in the uniform.
Yeah.
What's the GPA for you?
3.5.
3.5. What's your favorite class?
Probably psychology.
Psych. All right. Now, that is not an answer I expected. Why psych? How'd you get interested?
I just like learning about how the human body works. Yeah, how people react to stuff. That's about it.
Okay. We're still early in the season. Granted, the first month is underneath your belt, but at the same time, the conference part of your schedule is just now getting started. What are the goals for this team? You guys openly talked about it.
Yeah, we would like to win the GMC and make a run in the playoffs for sure.
Right now, the most important game, next one on the schedule, Fairview.
Yeah.
All right, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Again, our player profile, Owen Lloyd. Don't you go anywhere. We'll have the starting lineups when we come back. You're watching the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Welcome back. DCTV Sports is on the air with the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show as we travel to Ayersville tonight as they take on the Apaches of Fairview. Our thanks going out to our pregame sponsor, Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Clinton Street in Defiance. Check out their fantastic selection of both new and used vehicles. And they know everybody's on a budget. And used, what do they call them? Cream puffs. Broken in, not broken down. Or you can check out their selection online at Drive Bob Estel. PregameShow.com. Being joined by Coach Wolfrum right now. I see you probably styling like a Cadillac Escalade, something like that. You a 4x4 guy, or you want a convertible?
I'm a truck guy.
He's a truck guy. All right, we can work him. We can work him. I'm sure everybody can use a pretty good pitch man. Right now, though, his main job is boys basketball coach. Coming off a tough loss against Napoleon, but looking at a 3-5 record right now, and I don't want to say hitting the reset button, but conference play now starts. I know lots of coaches that we talk to say they break down the season into different components. You're here now. Post-Christmas, post-New Year's, what were you working on during the break?
Yeah, so coming off, we had a tough loss against Napoleon in the holiday tournament. Luckily, we had a chance to bounce back the next night against Holgate. Got a good win there. After that, told our guys, currently we're 0-0 going into conference play. Like you said, we get a little bit of a reset button here. Had a really good week of practice, and excited to bring Fairview in here tonight and hopefully get a win.
Before we break them down, let's rewind a little bit. You've got 8 games underneath your belt. You and I talked about it before our very first broadcast. Different looking roster this year. You were heavily senior laden last year. Not just experience, but talent. Inexperienced doesn't mean untalented, but it also means untested. Where are you at now, roughly a month into the season, compared to where you thought you might be?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty close to where I thought we could be. Obviously, wish we could be a little bit better record-wise in some of our losses, but we've definitely been tested. PH, Napoleon, Archibald, Fort Jennings, they all have really, really good records right now. Eden, and then got a couple good wins under our belt. So we've been tested. Now's the time where we take that inexperience and start turning it into a little bit more experience. And conference play is a great time for that.
Here's the plus-minus question for you. 2 parts. Where would you say you've made your most improvement? And at the same time, what still needs improvement?
Yeah, I would say the last week or so offensively, we've done a better job just efficient-wise. I think early on in the season, we were a little bit more helter-skelter and trying to get a good shot, not a great shot. So we worked on that the past couple weeks of trying to pass up that good shot early in the possession to try to get a great one. Defensively, man-to-man, our 3 scrimmages were really good, and then we got into the season, and I think we actually regressed a little bit. That turned around this past weekend. We're doing some different things defensively, which is helping. So I think we're on the up and up, hopefully there, too, as well.
Let's go ahead and break down tonight's opponent. The Apaches come in, even 500. They've got a lot of length. This is a tall team, good athletes. What's the scout?
Yeah, exactly it. Tall, athletic, quick. Coach Panico is definitely going to have them ready. I really like what he's doing over there. For how young they are, don't have a ton of seniors on the roster. They still have quite a bit of experience. Their roster is a little bit built like we were, or like we are. Those guys that are playing now played as freshmen and sophomores, so they have some experience under their belt. They bring length, they bring some experience, they bring some scoring. Defensively, they're definitely going to get up into you because of their athleticism and pressure.
You'll see some zone tonight with that length. Quite often they'll try and deke you. What looks like a passing lane all of a sudden with those long arms is a deflection, maybe even a fast break heading the other way. What's the key to attacking that?
Attack the gaps. I mean, every coach is going to say it when you go into a zone. Got to attack the gaps. Got to have good, sharp passes. Can't turn the ball over. Got to hit shots. So it sounds like an easy game when I'm talking like that, but we'll go from there.
We got a future pilot that's tugging on his ankle right there. Maybe in about another 15 years or so, we'll be go ahead and giving him the scout, correct?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Nothing left to do but tip this one off. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, Owen Lloyd is going to be our player profile. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports. Welcome back, DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at the hangar, we are now under 2 minutes before we tip this one off. 3-5 Ayersville, 3-3 Fairview. Somebody is going to pick up their first win of the GMC schedule at the end of this one. Let's go ahead and give you the keys to the game. Who needs to do what? They're brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Northwest State Community College, your key to great career opportunities, begins with a great education at Northwest State. Visit northweststate.edu or give them a call at 419-267-1320 today. Let's go ahead and take to the visitors first, the Fairview Apaches. And again, feed the beast. They've got a hot shooter in Levi Panico. He's going to be their number one, usually their number two, number three, and number four option. He's got the green light to shoot from anywhere. And you know, Claire, when your guy's hot, you got to feed him.
Well, and especially when you can find so many different ways to score. A lot of times you've got a sharpshooter that can nail the tray or somebody that can really get big and post up, but he can do a little bit of everything, which makes him a dangerous player and really tough to stop.
At 6'4", he is very versatile. Second, make Peak lonely. Jeremiah Peak enters tonight's contest, the leading scorer for the Pilots at nearly 16 points per game. You've got to make somebody else try and beat you tonight.
Well, and you might only be a sophomore, so you think, inexperienced, but he started as a freshman last year, and so he has that game experience. He's had all fall, and he's someone that they don't want to let get easy buckets.
On the flip side, for the Pilots of Ayersville at 3-5 overall, looking to be 1-0. Well, one and done is one of the key components here. You heard Coach Wolfrum talk about it. They are outsized. They understand that. They're going to crash as many as 4. You cannot allow second or even third chance opportunities if you're Ayersville.
Well, especially with Caden Brewer out, they don't have the height that they usually do. They're outmatched height-wise, and so you got to find somebody, put a body on them, and eliminate second chance opportunities.
On the flip side, down below there, you see rhythm versus tempo. They are two different things. They want pace, but they want to be in sync. They won't surrender rhythm just to get tempo tonight.
And it's nice to have a quick team that you know can get up and down the floor, but if you're just chucking up bricks, that does you no good. You need to get in that offensive rhythm and get comfortable.
Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Right now, the colors being unfurled, both teams lining up at their respective ends of the gymnasium. It's time for the national anthem, brought to you by the Defiance County Veterans Office, proud to support local veterans and their families to connect them with services that they deserve. To learn more or request them, check them out online at defiance-county.com/Veterans Office. The national anthem in the books, underwritten by the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with services that they deserve. To learn more, you can give their office a call at 419-782-6861 or log on to defiance-county.com/Veterans Office. Time now for the starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. For the visitors, Jake Panico at the head coach. Second trip around. He was the head man a few years ago. They brought him back. And here you can take a look at the starters. William Zedek at the point. Cale Salyers is at the off guard. Levi Panico, again the leading scorer, 6'4", and a junior. Noah Schinninger will be your power forward. He stands in at 6'2", and in the middle, Jackson Brady. And actually, Jackson Brady is, 6'3". He will post up. He likes to get down low, get his hands up, and demand the basketball. On the flip side, for the Ayersville Pilots, your Ayersville 5 are as follows. At the point, our player profile, Owen Lloyd. Lloyd, they've talked with him about being more aggressive. He only averages 3 points per game. He averages less than 1 assist. They said they'd rather see an aggressive mistake than a passive one. We'll see if he takes that to heart. At off guard, it will be Dylan Dunn. Dunn, the 5'11 junior. Dunn averages 6 points and 3.5 boards per game. Jeremiah Peak will be at the swing. Peak, a starter last year as a freshman, 6'2", and a sophomore, the team's leading scorer at 16 points per ball game. Dane Ewers, just a freshman. They are young here at Ayersville. Ewers, again, standing in at 6'2", the freshman, the second leading scorer for the Pilots at 13.5 points. He also crashes the glass at 7 boards per contest. And in the middle, Keithan Miles, the 6'2 senior. Miles averaging just under 2 points and 2 rebounds per ball game. Those are your starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. Well, the opposition has been introduced. The hype, I can't call it video, but the hype music is playing here. And as always, the starters coming off the bench and then making the gamut through the student body tunnel. And it starts at the far end with a lot of the grade schoolers and then ends in the high school student section. And I can't count how many times I've talked to current players who said this is what got them hooked. They'll never forget it as a 4th grader, 5th grader, 6th grader coming, the lights are down, getting high-fived by a varsity player, maybe even scoring a T-shirt. It just creates extra atmosphere.
It just gives you chills. You know, there's nothing cool. These guys are like the NBA players to them. I mean, they're your, starting for the Buckeyes or the Rockets or whatever. This is cooler because you know them. I watched, Bobby so-and-so, and I high-fived him right before that big win against whoever. It's something you don't remember the details, but you remember that high five.
Tip-off is underway, and so is the game as the Apaches moving from right to left. And again, trying to feed down low to Schinninger. Good hands. Defense in the first turnover of the game.
Well, Pilot's doing a nice job of trapping in the corner and kind of causing a little bit of chaos for the Apaches.
You're going to see primarily, maybe at best, a 4 out, 1 in, but it's usually 5 out with a lot of motion away from the basketball. Peak going to draw a lot of defensive attention, trying to find Ewers in the low blocks. It's knocked out of bounds. But here's where we see tempo versus rhythm. The fast break wasn't there, and so, Claire, this is what Coach Wolfrum wants. Slow it down and run your half-court offense.
Well, and especially early in the game, both teams kind of feeling each other out. They haven't played yet this season, so kind of trying to not only get in their own rhythm, but set the tone against your opponent.
And actually, I'm looking down, and I see Jackson Stambaugh, who was not originally listed as a starter, but is on the floor. Back in a little bit of that sagging zone defense. Long 3, goes begging off the right side. Offensive board. Second opportunity, swatted away from behind. Panico will back it out. What were we saying about one and done as one of the keys?
That was tough because Stambaugh was in position, but Salyers is just a little bit too tall, and he didn't seal him off fully, so Salyers was able to grab the ball without the over the back.
Open on the far wing. Salyers decides to surrender it. Patience being shown now by Fairview. Far corner. Long 3. Airmailed and down into the hands of Dunn, and he hits the deck. And a good show of sportsmanship by Panico to help him up. So right now, at least in the early going here, neither team can buy a bucket. A little bit of full court pressure. Ewers, somebody's got to call that out and help him. He almost got stripped from behind. And now they'll set up their pattern offense. On the drive, Ewers bumped, and we got a foul.
Ewers did a nice job seeing, both defenders kind of hedging a little bit. He split them, got a good look, and drawed the foul in between.
The inbounds, Ewers, just a freshman, dribble penetration, but kicks it out. Dunn didn't want the shot. Again, Coach Wolfram told me, he goes, with the new sets that they've got in here, trying to add a wrinkle or two to their offense, boy, that was walking the tightrope, and that goes out of bounds, but Ewers got himself in trouble underneath the basket. He said, we're looking to get some action away from the ball, backdoor cuts, screens. He goes, if we don't get a layup in our first 3 or 4 passes, he goes, I want us to run it out. He goes, the only person at that point that has the green light is Peak. And Ewers stripped from behind, up the court, counted, and one coming. And there's where the freshman got up, kind of waved his arms, but that's where you got to get your money's worth, because he's picked up the foul anyway, but now it's a chance for a 3-point play.
Yeah, if you're going to, you want everyone to be safe and no injuries, but if you're going to foul, do it in a way that you don't end up paying again from the charity stripe.
So Salyers will head to the charity stripe, looking to complete the 3-point play and give the Apaches an extra point. He cannot do so. Ewers comes down with a 2-handed board. And it looks like we got a 2-2-1 zone press here. And Peak is in a world of troubles. Nobody comes to him, and that's going to be 10 seconds. And there's where somebody's got to flash to the ball, Claire. He was just stranded in a double team on the near side.
Well, and taking a look at number 35 for Fairview, Noah Scheininger, he's just a grinder so far. He's trapping folks. He's coming from behind and tapping it away. He was the reason that they had the layup here, the first points of the game. He's somebody where, hey, if he's flashing at the ball and helping trap, we need somebody else. We need somebody else to assist the point guard.
Salyers on the drive, dishes. That's is that a 3? Yes, it was. Panico was beyond the arc, and that is a Premier Bank 3-pointer. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options. Check them out at premierbank.com. Another turnover. Dishing on the right wing. Brady on the drive. He muscles up. They're going to call him for a charge. Boy, Brady very aggressive, but a little too much there.
And again, kudos to, I know we just talked about he's not that young a player. He played last year, but it's hard as a young player not to go and bite on that, trying to block. But he set his feet, took the charge, worked out well.
Right now, trailing 5-0. They've got to get the ball across half court, and Peak's selecting to go ahead and take the bulk of the chores himself. Wide open to the near corner, and again, Lloyd elected to pass instead of drive, and at just 5'9", and I think that might be a little gracious. There's where, again, the coaching staff is trying to get him to be more aggressive.
Fairview doing a nice job with this matchup zone, though. They're doing a beautiful job kind of passing the players off, and it feels like there's 6 men on the court.
We're going to have a foul about 24 feet out. A couple of forced smiles. This is either going to be Salyers or Panico. It will be Panico, his first, team foul number 2. Pilots will inbound on the far side, and whoops, into the backcourt. Stambaugh slips over, picks it up. Keeping his dribble, Stambaugh surrenders it. Ewers, now he wasted his dribble. Peak trying to create, that ball was partially blocked by Panico. And here come the Apaches. Good transition D by the Pilots, and that's a forced pass. It slips through Panico's fingers.
Yeah, there were one too many white jerseys in between for my liking, but it was a good, he tried the no look. No one was expecting it. I'm sure we'll see it again.
Peak, double teamed, he's stripped, it's 2-on-1, and Panico finishes the fun.
And there's Scheininger again with the foul, or the steal.
Boy, he's physical.
Yeah.
They are inviting the ball to the corner, and the Pilots are obliging, getting themselves into some trouble. The 7-0 run to start the game. Peak is just being hounded, and he throws it away. Cross court, Panico. Peak gets a hand on it, but a great gather by Panico, and I'm beginning to think, and there it is. Coach Wolfram needs a timeout. We will take a Mark Moats Ford timeout. Serving the Defiance community since 1916, Mark Moats Ford on County Road 424 in Defiance and online at markmoatsford.com. Pilots still looking for their first point. They're down 9-0. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Back at the hangar, full court pressure coming from Fairview again, and going for the steal, but picking up the foul. Or was it? Yes, it is number 3, Logan Ollinger, who's checked into the ball game. They'll go about 8, potentially 9 deep. Nice break by the Pilots. Good pump fake. Here's a good aggressive drive. And finishing with the teardrop, Dylan Dunn, finally at the 3:05 mark, gives Ayersville their first points of the ball game.
Coach Wolfram did a nice job calling that timeout, kind of calming down his guys. He drew up a press break.
Exactly.
That, the first go drew a foul, then they were able to produce.
Only down 7 when you consider how cold they've started. Ayersville should feel fortunate. Nice spin move in the low blocks. That's going to hang and teases Brady as it will roll off the side, and we've got a whistle, a jump ball to call.
But there's Panico coming right in. You really got to seal these guys off. Otherwise, they're going to force a jump ball or possibly even rip the rebound away from you.
Brady stands in at 6'3". He's got a little bit of bulk. And, again, name me a high school kid that doesn't want to come out and pop. He likes playing with his back to the basket. He's had some good looks. He just hasn't been able to get the friendly roll. They're going to balance the floor now. The Pilot student body trying to spur on another defensive stop. Nice backdoor cut, and it goes off the face of Ollinger. And Lloyd is Johnny on the spot. Peak. He's only had one shot so far in this game, and it was blocked. And there's a pass that's deflected and stolen away. Up the court, and that's going to be an easy lay-in for Zedike.
That one's tough because you knew he wanted to get it across, but then you pick it up right across the line, and you're kind of trapped.
Lloyd in the near corner. Bullet pass into the low blocks. Done. Bodied up, and they'll kick it out. Stambaugh in between the circles. Comes off a double screen, but doesn't attack. Spotting up. Long three. Dunn's got it. A Premier Bank three-pointer. And he's got all 5 of the Pilots' points.
It's a pretty shot, too. Nothing but net.
Yeah. At the other end, Salyers releases the basketball. Panico posting up against the much smaller Lloyd, and he forces the travel. And he's looking over saying, "Stripes, you just took my steal away." That's great defense, though, by the undersized point guard. Substitution. Keithan Miles will check in for Stambaugh. So at least to open up the game, Coach Wolfram elected to go with a smaller lineup. But now with Miles in, he's going about as big as he possibly can. And Peak throws it away. What were we talking about in the pregame again, Claire? Rhythm versus tempo. And I know that press didn't directly cause the turnover, but they sped Ayersville up.
A little bit. And it's easy to do that because you see, all right, out of the corner of my eye, I see my teammate there. I'm going to chuck it over where he just was, but he was cutting, and it's just behind him. And especially when you've got you're double teamed, you got 2 hands in your face, They're flying around, it's tough to see.
Under a minute left to go in the first quarter. Schinninger is in, he'll release the basketball. Ollinger right back to Schinninger. On the drive, Zedike gives it up. Good on-ball defense, but that's a great cut and swatted away. Boy, they are just on the ball like nobody's business. Ewers crosses over. Dishes. Lloyd doesn't want to drive. Well, with 23 seconds left, I was about to say, will they take the air out of the ball, but with the on-ball pressure, Ewers picks up the loose one, and finally we have our second pilot in the scoring column. Boy, for as well as Fairview has smothered Ayersville, it's an 11-7 ball game. 5 seconds. Salyers gets rid of it. Strip from behind. Will they get a shot off? It's going to be woefully short. Well, I tell you what, for the most part, Fairview had the wind in their sails, but the final probably 30, 45 seconds, Ayersville takes a bit back. 11-7 our score. We'll put up the second 8 minutes. We're back at the hangar right after this Mark Moats Ford timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Back at the hangar, Ayersville trailing Fairview 11-7. Second quarter just underway. Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. Thanks for joining us tonight on DCTV Sports. Again, the top half, is this a 2-3? It looks like it, although, nope, with the cutter coming through, it's a sagging man. Coach Panico told me they'd worked on a couple wrinkles defensively. They'll bust out everything from a 3-2 to a 1-3-1.
Well, and especially coming after a made basket, it's easy to get in that 3-2 setup or 1-2-2, however you want to call it. And then with the half-court matching up man.
Wow, lots of contact, peak driving, trying to create something, and he draws the foul. And I believe this is going to be Schinninger. Yep. Schinninger will be the guilty party, his first. Peak to the charity stripe. He is an 82% free throw shooter, looking for his first points of the night. Only got one shot off in that first quarter, and he's long on the heel of his first offering.
Ayersville, though, closing out the first quarter on a 7-2 run after a little bit of a rough start, trailing 9-0.
Well, credit Fairview with that sticky defense and that press for causing that rough start.
Yeah.
Peak second is on the way. He's in the books. 11-8. Deficit trimmed to 3. We knew that Peak was going to draw a lot of attention defensively tonight, and he has had a hard time just getting touches, much less shots.
Well, it's that full court press is really tripping them up. They can get, across the timeline, but then it's tough. But second charge taken by a pilot so far tonight.
That'll be the second foul on Jackson Brady. We'll see if he stays in the game. Looks like, get ready for this, ladies and gentlemen. 6'9" sophomore Logan Mosier, tall drink of water, has just stepped onto the court.
He's going to be tough to get anything going down low for Ayersville, just because once you get in, he puts his hands up, you can't even see the net hardly.
He's a rim protector. Right now, I think you could put your hand around his biceps. He's incredibly thin. Growing into his body from what Coach Panico told me, but he said they expect him to be a good one in another year or two.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, just trying to stay vertical against Ewers. But again, look at the on-ball pressure. You just can't catch any daylight. Ewers on the drive, and is that going to be a charge? Yes, it will. Right idea, but it came a little late. And Dane Ewers picks up his second. Team foul number 1 here in quarter number 2. Gavin Mead has also checked in. Mead, a 6'2 sophomore. you just look down, and with the exception of Panico and obviously Mosier at 6'9", Fairview just looks like a carbon copy of themselves. 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'2".
Well, and it's, I mean, when you look at just number of players dressing.
Yep.
Ayersville's got a few on Fairview, but my gosh, they aren't tiring. You know, they're full court pressing. They're just grinders.
Mosier with the swat there. Here comes Panico. Good D by Lloyd to cut him off. And now they'll go into their half-court offense. Little crossover. We got a double dribble. Little too much shake and bake by Olinger. Well, other than the one free throw by Jeremiah Peak, no scoring so far by either team here in the second quarter. It's been a heavily defensive-oriented ball game.
Fun to watch, though.
Yep.
Just how they're flying around and trapping. And,
There's
and
been
doing a good job not
tempo.
leaving. There has been plenty of tempo. Just needing to get into that rhythm.
One-handed pass, Ewers. Oh, that's a good pass, and then a screen. Ewers got a good look. Almost banked in a 15-footer. Here's a rare fast break opportunity, but 4 white jerseys get back for Ayersville. Good transition defense. Olinger playing a little catch in between the circles with Meade. We got a whistle away from the ball. And the foul's going to go against Peak. Oh, I stand corrected. It's Stambaugh. It was Stambaugh's first. Okay. Whistle away from the ball. A lot of banging down low, and that's going to be a foul in the post, I believe, against Meade. It is.
Yep.
Well, not to say that it's an area of concern right now for Coach Jake Panico, but his starting center is on the bench right now with 2 fouls, and his backup center has just picked up an early one. He'll stay in the game, and whoops, through the wickets, and Panico forces a smile over at his dad and head coach. And he just shakes his head and puts his hands together.
That's one of those where like, oh, it was in my hands, and it just trickles out of bounds.
It's when things just happen in slow motion, like you can't catch up.
Yeah, it's like the no, just super.
Yep. Nice feed. Dribble penetration done, releases. Ewers goes up against a triple team, and he gets a facial from Mosier. Did Mosier catch him with the body?
That's the call.
Well, someday we hope to have replay for you, ladies and gentlemen, because that would be one that would be worthy of taking another look at. As it stands, Ewers looking for his 3rd point of the night. He's got it. Dane Ewers. Free throw percentage could use a little bit of tweaking at just 57%.
For now. Let's see how, I mean, man.
Second is on the way. He's 100% here.
2 for 2 tonight. He'll be pumping that percentage up pretty
Well,
quick.
it's a 3-0. I can't call it a run as we're now under 5 minutes here in the second quarter, but Fairview yet to score here in the second period. Some stingy defense by the Pilots, and that goes off the noggin. Stolen away. It's a rare fast break opportunity. Oh, great up and under move. In and out. Dunn did everything but finish. And Coach Panico wants a 30-second timeout as he's not happy with his team right now. They just dodged a bullet, or Ayersville would have taken the first lead of the ball game.
Well, and done with such a beautiful move to get kind of an open look, and just, oh, that one pained you. Because had that gone in, it's like, all right, every JV player, every freshman player, that is how it's done.
Look, and at the same time, I know he's frustrated that he missed it, but if you're Logan Wolfrum, you tell him, you take that shot again.
Every time.
That's the aggressiveness beyond Jeremiah Peak that the coaching staff has desperately employed the remainder of the white jerseys to try to raise their level to.
And it just takes one to get your confidence up and rolling
And to become infectious.
Yeah.
So right now, your Pilot 5 are Miles, Peak, Lloyd, Stambaugh, and Dunn. And another turnover, this time Peak with the steal. And another chance for the Pilots to take the lead. Lloyd is yet to take a shot. Miles, that's not his area. Peak with a heat check. Almost. The iron teased him. Olinger makes it one and done. How about this? The Apaches still looking for their first point of any kind here in the second quarter, and we're already more than halfway through it. Good on-ball defense right now by Dunn. On the drive. Mosier, middle of the paint, nothing doing. Miles taps it to Lloyd. Offense has been at a premium tonight.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's no question that a little bit of foul trouble in Fairview, their lineup is a little bit different. They're not able to do the full court press quite to the efficiency as they were in the first quarter.
Ill-advised jump pass attempt, because it wasn't really a jump pass with the traveling being called.
It's all in the eye of the beholder. Maybe it was. It just didn't release it quick enough.
That's probably what he'll say.
Oh, for sure.
The Men in Stripes opinion counts, though.
Yeah.
Coming up on 3 minutes. Still scoreless in the second quarter, and still with a 1-point lead and another turnover.
But the good news for Fairview is the majority of the issues they're having aren't fixable. You know, they're self-inflicted. A good pep talk at halftime from Coach Panico may turn the ship for them.
To hold a team scoreless for 5 minutes and yet still trail by 1, can Peak change it? That one bricks off the side of the backboard. He has been contested on everything tonight.
And that was the plan coming in, though, was anyone else can score. Do not let Jeremiah Peak score.
Whistle away from the ball. Foul underneath. And who's it on? It's going against Lloyd, his first. Lloyd at 5. They list him at 5'10" on the program. Folks, that's generous. I stood next to him for our player profile. I'm going to say probably 5'8". And yet he's being asked to go down low and guard posts. He's coming out right now and doing a little hand checking on Olinger. 2.5 left to go in the first half. Meade almost drug that pivot foot. They run a cutter through. Stripped! Quick hands. Good move by Stambaugh. And now Peak will walk it across the timeline.
That was a great cut by Salyers. It looked like he was going to have a wide open look, but Stambaugh got a hand on it, knocked it away, and here we are, Ayersville ball.
Dribble penetration, they'll kick it back out. Dunn, almost stripped, and he is. Here comes Zedike, 1-on-2. Nice thread the needle! And at the 2-minute mark, that's the first basket from the floor for either team here in the second quarter. Wow.
That was a beautiful pass.
It was. On the drive, kicking back out. Lloyd doesn't want it. On the dribble penetration, he's tied up. Jump ball. Fairview possession. 13-10. Fairview with the lead and the ball. We'll break it all down at your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show coming up in about 95 seconds.
Feels like the first half has gone quick. There's been few fouls on the grand scheme of things.
They've let them play.
They really have.
Defense has just ruled the night. Double step. Little hard from 10 feet out. One and done by Dunn. Ayersville trying to pull it within 1. They can tie it with a 3. Peak near corner. He has been smothered everywhere with or without the basketball. Miles will hand it off to him. Almost stripped. He's going to drive. Double clutches. A little long. And again, one and done. This time Olinger with the board. And I'll be curious if Fairview wants to take the air out of the ball with less than a minute left to go. Doesn't look like it. On the drive, stripped. Panico tracks it down. Meade, they'll reverse it. Good ball movement right now. And Peak trying to contest. Salyers went for it, and Peak is going to be the guilty party. His first. We'll see if that was on the floor. Was he in the act of shooting? They're going to say free throws. Salyers with 4 points. We'll head to the stripe. Deep knee bend, releases.
Beautiful shot.
Splits the nylon. Ewers in, Miles out for Ayersville for the final 35 seconds. Salyers will try and make it a 5-point lead. It's Long. Done with the board. Stripped, picks it up. They've got numbers if they want them. Ewers takes a little bit of a love tap. Tied up. It's getting chippy as the arrow points the Pilots' way.
Yeah, some frustration, I think, on both teams, just things not quite bouncing their way, and you really want to end with momentum to wrap up the first half, because it's always the worst feeling going in when you didn't end quite what you wanted.
Well, at the high school level, most coaches will tell you 2 minutes, the final minute of the first half, the first minute of the second half. How do you end? How do you start? Great backdoor cut, and Peak finally with his first basket, coming with just 11 seconds left. They pulled to within 2 at 14-12. Lloyd with a strip. Bodies flying everywhere. Jump ball the call. Fairview should maintain possession. Zedike will inbound. Trying to run a set from the sideline. Oh, wow. Deep shot. Doesn't catch any iron. Lloyd with the board. And for as defensive a ball game as I have seen in a long time, we can tell you this was competitive. A 2-point advantage as Fairview takes a 14-12 lead. Both teams heading in to their respective locker rooms. What we're going to do is take a 2-minute break. A 2-minute break. We're back with your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching GMC basketball on DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at the hangar. It is the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union celebrating 70 years of helping you achieve your dreams and securing your future. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon, or check them out online at midwestcommunity.org. Low scoring ball game. Doesn't mean that it's been a boring ball game, just really good defense. But 14-12, Fairview leading the host Pilots at the half. Let's do a quick rundown of your scoring. A total of 6 players between both teams have taken care of every single point tonight. First for the Pilots, 5 points, Dylan Dunn. He scored all 5 in the first quarter, actually early in the first quarter, including a three-pointer. The real key is who has been held to just 3 points, and that is the Pilots' leading scorer, sophomore Jeremiah Peak. He came in tonight averaging nearly 16 points per ball game. He has been held to just 3. Claire, by my book, he only got 2 shots off in the first quarter. He got a couple of good looks, but again, he's always had a hand in his face, and he's also been bodied up. Even without the basketball, he has spent a lot of energy just trying to get a touch, much less a shot.
Yeah, and really when he has had the ball, they had such a tough time at the beginning of the first quarter, really most of the first quarter until the last couple of minutes, getting the ball across the timeline.
Yep.
Just because there was a lot of pressure from Fairview. They were doing a good job trapping right as you got across half court, and so they weren't able to get into their offense. And then from there, it kind of felt like he felt the weight on his shoulders, maybe wasn't trying to do too much, but was forcing it a little bit. He did have a couple good looks, but there were a few where it's, you do want to make a couple extra passes and just kind of try and catch Fairview off guard.
Rounding out the scoring for the Pilots, Dane Ewers, the freshman forward, has 4 points. He's got 2 from the free throw line and a basket from the field in the first quarter. On the flip side, leading all scorers, Levi Panico. He scored all 7 of his points in the first quarter. And then Ayersville's defense has been pretty salty as well. Neither team really able to get into much of a rhythm. 5 points for Cale Salyers and a deuce for point guard William Zedike. That rounds out the scoring for both teams. I don't want to, look, if I could predict the future, I would be buying lottery tickets right now. But I will say this, though, Claire. I get the feeling whoever finds rhythm, and we talked about it, neither team really had it versus the tempo in that first half. You get the feeling that the first team that puts together even a mini run, say 6 points, is going to be in control here.
It really is going to put the distance off, and it's going to be tough to catch back up because, to your point, no one's really strung together a bunch of points. Yes, Ayersville did a good job going on what ended up being a 10-2 run, if you want to call it that, but the last 3 were free throws. But again, kudos to them for kind of pulling themselves out of that 9-0 hole. And Fairview really started off sharp, got into a little bit of foul trouble, and had to adjust defensively. Still doing a good job defensively, just not able to kind of run and gun and full court press, which was really giving the Pilots fits.
The good news for the Pilots is that they held the Apaches to just 3 points in the second quarter. The good news for the Apaches, they're still up by 2 in the locker room. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with more of your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Back to put the finishing touches on the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show, helping you achieve your dreams, celebrating 70 years of helping the area. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon. Check them out online at midwestcommunity.com. Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. Low scoring, defensive-oriented ball game. Visiting Apaches leading the host Pilots by a pair, 14-12. Still no sign of Fairview out of the locker room, and we're under 2 minutes left to go. If they get any type of shoot-around in, it's going to be a short one. Claire, you and I were talking about it, but I believe Coach Panico is probably preaching a little fire in that locker room right now.
That would be my guess, especially, they're coming, no. As soon as they, I think we'll see them fired up and rearing to go much like we did at the start of the game.
Look, defense isn't the issue. They haven't been able to get in rhythm. Neither team really has.
And I feel like, but what rhythm they did have was off of turnovers and transition. And so the fact that they didn't have the opportunity to really do any transition buckets in the second quarter really hurt them score-wise.
Yeah, the only bucket that they had was actually off of a steal, and it was a tremendous pass that split a pair of defenders and finally laid in by Cale Salyers. But with under a minute left to go, Fairview just now coming back into the gym, and the balls are being put back in the rack, so they won't get any shoot around at all. Now this will be interesting.
Maybe that's the trick. Maybe you shot around too much before the game.
No shots for you.
Something different. No shots for you at half.
Well, we'll see, because Ayersville came out with a little over 3 minutes left to go, so they definitely have had a chance to maybe find their range and warm back up again. So we'll see, because right now I would say what wins, the irresistible force or the immovable object, but right now there is no irresistible force. The immovable object for both teams has been some very staunch defense.
Well, and coming into this game, I know it's still early in the season, but if for Ayersville, if they scored at least 49 points, they have not lost.
Yep.
Fairview, similarly, if they score at least 43 points, they haven't lost. I don't know if we'll get there. I mean, we probably will. I don't know, though.
I don't think so.
So we might have, throw those stats out the window because it's going to be a different night.
I think unless we've got an offensive explosion, and there's been no reason to think that we're going to, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to go out on a limb, maybe somewhat sturdy. I think the first one to 30 wins. I think 35 points is probably enough tonight.
It's like that magical first to 20 in volleyball. It's whoever gets there first has a better look, better outcome.
Violets will have it to start the third quarter. Down by a pair on the drive. Contact, no whistle. Near corner, wide open. Done with another Premier Bank three. He's got 8. And the first lead of the ball game for Ayersville. I tell you what, Dunn came in only averaging 6, and we've got to travel at the other end of the court. There's where the defense picks back up. Look, and how many times have you heard coaches use this phrase? Defense travels. Even if you're in your own gym, certainly Fairview being on the road, if your offense is struggling, you can always play good defense.
Well, and that, you feel like, don't get me wrong, a bucket's always great, a great dunk, a big three, but when somebody takes a charge or gets a steal, the crowd just gets back in it.
Right now trying to stretch a 1-point lead. Ewers will back it out. Stand ball, little 3-man weave. Peak, nice shake and bake. Dishes to the corner. Good ball movement right now by Ayersville. Ewers open for 3 off the heel of the iron. Dagger tapped out actually to himself. Salyers had it, but he traveled with it before he could come to a full stop. Well, 2 possessions and not a shot to be taken for Fairview to start the third quarter.
Well, really no opportunity to even get set up.
So 15-14. Dunn, the high point man right now with 2 3-pointers and a basket. He's got 8. It's 2 points over his per game average. And are they in a 2-3 zone here? Or not? Nope. They were just coming out to match up. 3 ball halfway down. It spits out. Nice. Beautiful save, but right to Ewers. 1-on-4. Lloyd, again a pump fake. I thought he'd drive, but he didn't. He had daylight. Ewers in the low blocks, tries to go to work. Great movement without the ball. Post to guard. Lloyd with his first points, but a nifty assist by Ewers.
Ewers, for the last minute and a half, you couldn't take your eyes off him. He did a good job hedging, staying back. Yeah, the ball maybe was out of bounds, but he was able to corral it after Fairview tried to save it from going out. He made a beautiful pass down to Lloyd, and now Pilots are up 3.
Panico with a heat check. Good offensive board and a muscle back up by Brady. Doesn't matter that he's got 2 fouls. He only knows 1 gear. Ayersville's lead cut to 1. Ewers breaks the press. Peak, rare open 3, just a bit short. Ball tapped, and a left-handed layup, no good. They had 2 good looks at it. And Zedike will slow it down, trying to retake the lead. Very aggressive on his dribble drive, but that's just great on-ball defense by Stambaugh. And now he's going to pick up the foul. Stambaugh second. Panico will be the trigger man on the baseline. Oh, nice seal and a foul on Ewers as Brady will head to the stripe.
I'm not even sure how he was able to get positioned down there, but what a good job by Brady.
And that's foul number 3 on Dane Ewers. Logan Wolfrum, I'm not sure if he's aware of it or not, but doesn't look like he's going to the bench. As the first free throw rattles in and out. Brady will try and tie it. Seen a couple of Fairview players. They're not quite rec specs, but those goggles with a strap, or in this case glasses, as he's in and out on both. I had hard contacts growing up, so I had to have rec specs, and those things were a fashion statement in and of themselves. They could take a pounding, though. I can tell you that from experience. Pump fake, dribble penetration. Nice D, though, by Zedike to cut him off. Ewers, despite 3 fouls, inside, outside. 3 ball. Got it! Dylan Dunn, have yourself a game. He's now in double figures with 11 to lead all scorers. Panico on the drive, muscles up, too hard. Ewers cleans the glass. Big man wants to run. Nobody picks him up. And now he's swatted away, and he's going to be out of bounds off of him. Well, that was just a last second, hey, I happen to be here, I'll reach out, and Panico got a piece of it. Ayersville will pull back and just play some half-court defense.
Nice switch.
Good penetration by Zedike. Drives. I think he anticipated contact that didn't end up happening. And he bricked that shot.
Well, and it helps that Ewers has a couple, 3 fouls? So he's
Great aggressive drive by Dunn. Splits the defense, give him 13 on the night, and this is the largest lead of the game for Ayersville at 22-16.
Well, this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, just stringing a couple points together, getting that confidence, and getting in that rhythm.
We got a whistle, or did we have somebody step out of bounds? Foul's going to go against Lloyd, his second. Ayersville has outscored Fairview 10-2 here in the third quarter as a corner 3, airmailed from Panico. Ewers has it. Quick outlet. You think somebody will get on Dunn. He's been the only hot hand in the gym. Peek back to Dunn. He thought about a heat check 3. Instead, he'll dribble and surrender it. Patience right now by the Pilots, and they can afford it, being up by 6. Peek. Cut off by Panico. Displacement. Still muscles up and gets the teardrop, the fall. Tough move.
Well, and good patience, too, because he went in, kind of drew the foul a little bit, saw that his defender sagged off just a hair, and that's all he needs.
Lead is 8. Coming up on 3 minutes left to go in the corner. This is a dangerous lob pass down low to Panico. He's underneath the basket, and that was just forced up. And again, corralling it underneath the cylinder. It's one and done. Here comes Dunn. Peek, nice crossover. Stops in the paint. Lloyd wants a long 3. Leaves it short. Didn't look like he quite had his feet set on that.
Yeah, they looked kind of crossed almost. Not full cross, but just not quite the position you want.
Olinger will slow it down. Apaches with just 1 basket so far here in the third quarter. Panico. Looked like he had the baseline, but elected not to drive. We got a whistle away from the ball. Foul will be charged to Dylan Dunn. Dylan Dunn has single-handedly outscored all of Fairview so far here in the third quarter. He's got 8 points, and he's helped push the lead to 8 for the Pilots. Movement away from the ball. They're going to go down low. Oh, nice cut. Panico can't finish at the rim. They got the look they wanted.
Good cut, good feed. Just didn't quite roll.
Ewers on the drive, up against a double team. Are they going to count it?
Yes, they are.
Yes, and one coming. Ayersville has exploded offensively here in this third quarter. Timeout by Coach Jake Panico. Free throw coming when we return for Dane Ewers. They lead by 10. He'll try to make it 11. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this on DCTV Sports. There you get a good look at the Ayersville huddle. 26-16. They have almost scored as many points in 6 minutes of this third quarter as they did through the first half alone, as they trailed 14-12 at the intermission. As Dane Ewers will be heading to the free throw line to try and complete the three-point play. There you see Fairview's huddle. You don't see any panic or really anything demonstrative, but Coach Panico, my guess is really going to try and challenge his players here, not just for the final 2:06, but you got to jumpstart your offense right now.
And you really can't let the Pilots get any further ahead, because 10 points is doable with this much time left, but every minute you're not working your way out and they keep extending, it gets tougher and tougher, and really you can't overcome it.
Ewers, a 57% free throw shooter, is short. So the lead remains 10. Brady popping out instead of posting up. First cutter through. Second cutter through. Oh, in midair, dangerous jump pass. Ewers anticipates with the steal. Lloyd, how did they get that ball to him? He was a little far under the basket. And here comes Fairview. Low post. Good aggressive move. Got the good look, but Brady can't finish. They get the board up top to Panico. I think he knew that was long. He follows, tries to muscle up, gets a facial.
Ooh.
Top of the key, left wing, open three. Finally, the lid off the net. Jonas Schinninger with the tray. That is a Premier Bank three-pointer. And did the Apaches ever need that? Still down by 7. Just over a minute left to go here in the third. Up top. Dunn, who's had the hot hand, elects to give it up. Peak will pop out. And again, what were we saying? Coach Wolfrum saying, if we don't get a layup in the first 2 to 3 passes, we don't want to try. We want to run our offense.
Don't force it. You've got time on your side.
They're going to take the air out of the ball. Ooh, a little bit of a push there. Peak came up to get in the jersey of Olinger. And they're just going to milk the final 25 seconds. Usually about 10 is when you'll see the offense start to be put in motion. Both teams catching a bit of a break. "12 seconds. Ewers wants to drive. Cut off baseline. Oh, great look. Shot just short by Dunn. The outlet, though, out of bounds. Is it going to be Ayersville ball? No! They're going to say the Apaches maintain possession with 3 and 4/10 seconds left. They've got enough time for a couple dribbles and a shot. They're running a flat play, and I think he traveled.
Yeah.
Yep, he did. Postman turned and got just a little ahead of himself. But now with 1.4 seconds left, having to go 3/4 court length, enough time to catch, maybe take a dribble. We'll wait and see. Oh, no, they're going to bring it into the front court. Oh, this changes everything.
This does indeed.
Ewers almost fell down, throws up a prayer. It's not answered. It's about the only thing they didn't hit, though, in the third quarter after trailing 14-12 at the half. Ayersville finds their rhythm as they take a 26-19 lead into the fourth quarter. We'll take a Mark Motes Ford timeout. Mark Motes Ford on County Road 424 in Defiance and online at markmotesford.com. Fourth quarter, when we come back, you're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Final 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. We welcome you back to the hangar. Ayersville 26, Fairview 19. Nice drive and banking two in off the square from about 4 feet out. Noah Schittinger with his first points of the evening, and it pulls the Apaches to within a handful. Dunn, who had a tremendous third quarter, cut off, and it's out of bounds. It will be Apache basketball. Well, Dunn had 8 points alone in that third quarter. He's got 13. He's the only player on either roster, I should say, that's reached double figures.
Man, he was doing it from outside, getting inside. I mean, you couldn't give him an inch.
Ewers had a basket, so did Peak in that third quarter. Another turnover, and Peak got just a little nonchalant. He almost turned it over and makes a bad bounce pass at the feet. And a timeout being called by Logan Wolfrum. He gives a high five to his sophomore, but again, no need to rush. 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here. Well, I know Dunn has been the man of the moment right now for the Pilots, but one of his teammates, the young freshman, seems to have caught your eye.
I just can't get over, as a freshman, this few games into the season, some of the heads-up plays he's making. There in this third quarter, he had the wherewithal to, hey, you know what, I'm going to hang out here defensively in transition and just see what happens. Picked off, Ayersville trying to save a ball, had a phenomenal pass that led to a score. He's all over the boards offensively and defensively. I mean, he's just really impressed me for such a young player.
He, of course, being Dane Ewers.
Dane Ewers.
Absolutely.
My apologies.
Dane, you've left her speechless.
It's more fun if you have to guess, right?
Peak for three, his best look of the night, and it just didn't fall. And now we have a foul underneath, and if it's Lloyd, it's his third. It is. Well, nothing decided. Still a 5-point game, plenty of time. But right now, neither team, with the exception probably of Dunn in that third quarter, has shown a propensity for anybody to really go off. Right now, Pilots back on defense. R2 versus your two. Zedike working against Stambaugh. Oh, and an errant pass. Johnny on the spot at half court, though, picked up by Schittinger and out of bounds. But Ayersville taking a page out of Fairview's book in the first half, really ratcheting up their defense. And Stambaugh is yet to get up, but he appears to be okay.
Yeah, it looks like just a shoe tie, which is good to see.
The inbound's uncontested. Lloyd still playing tight D with those 3 fouls, and we have an illegal screen. Going to be called against Schittinger. Schinninger with his second. Check that. It's his third. We haven't needed it tonight as the 1-2-2 press. Good job to go over the top of it for Ayersville. Nice. Ewers finds the late cutter. Lloyd goes up strong. He went up hesitant.
I think he was looking for the contact.
He thought it was coming. And Panico at the other end makes him pay with a 3. And just like that, the lead trimmed to 2 on a Premier Bank three-pointer. Going for the steal. Peak got stripped. Whoa, and he's tied up right now with Schinninger. And Peak takes umbrage, and he's having a few words. Schinninger won't say a word. He'll go to his huddle. It's getting chippy. Full timeout. We will break with them. A Mark Moatsford timeout. 5:44 left to go in the game. Ayersville 26, Fairview 24. Back after this on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Back at the hangar, Ayersville turns it over, and Panico scores on a garbage putback. We're tied at 26 all. 5:20 left to go in this low-scoring ball game. Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. Thanking you for joining us on a Friday night. Peak in the lower corner. They'll kick it back out. And this is what Logan Wolfrum wants. No panic, just run your offense. But the defensive pressure being ratcheted up by the Apaches. And on the drive, Dunn hits the deck. Schinninger has just picked up his fourth. He will come out. Salyers will check in. Somebody's got to come off.
Yeah. Like, ooh.
Schinninger's like, are you sure? You sure it's me?
You sure? I know I have 4, but I can stay.
On the inbounds, Ewers will dribble out in between the circles. Well, every possession is now critical for both teams. What did I tell you? The first one to 30 wins?
I'm not doubting you because
we got a lot of time. I think that there's still going to be somebody to get there, but I said 35 points I think will be enough tonight. And there's a steal. Tipped away. Schinninger on the drive. Pump fake. Threw up a prayer and they bail him out. He got way too deep. He was easily 2 feet under the basket. And Ewers has just picked up his fourth. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's all he could do was draw the foul and did a great job of doing it because now here he is at the line.
Jonah Schinninger, his first trip tonight is long. Taking his time, they get him the basketball. Deep knee bend and releases, and he made the adjustment. 1 for 2, he's got 4 points on the night. That's the biggest one so far as the Apaches take a 1-point lead. Somebody want to attack? They do. Into the front court. Dunn now picks up his dribble. Double teamed and stripped. That's a big no-no. Into the front court. We'll see how aggressive the Apaches want to run their offense. Schinninger hits the deck. He's stripped. Quick outlet. Lloyd slows it down. Peak. Bullet pass near wing. Open three. Off the far side of the iron for Dunn. Panico has picked up his dribble. He's in trouble. He'll get rid of it. Salyers. Well, I was about to say they'll slow it down, but instead Schinninger launches a 23-footer, and it's one and done. I don't think that's the shot Coach Panico wanted.
If it went in, win. I don't, but.
Well, it would have been no, yes.
Yes, no, but okay.
But I don't think I'm going out on too far of a flimsy limb to say he didn't want that.
You're right.
Coming up on 3.5 minutes. Ayersville trying to retake the lead. Ewers high blocks up top. Space was there and just tentative all the way around.
I thought about it and then.
Lloyd will dribble out in between the circles. They're going to try and rebalance the floor here. They got a little congested to one side.
Nice fake.
Ewers stripped from behind. Oh, he did. Yeah. He just fouled out. Frustration foul. The freshman will have to watch for the final 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Ayersville foul number 10, Dane Ewers, his 5th. Team's 3rd.
Well, he averages 13.5 a ball game. He will foul out with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left and 6 points to his name tonight. And there goes one of your scoring options as Keithan Miles is now on the court. Well, nothing you can do right now if you're Ayersville but play some solid D. Likewise, if you're Fairview, boy, a basket here would make a huge difference. Low blocks, Brady. Panico. Well, that is solid D by the 5'8 Lloyd. It ends up being an air ball, but it goes straight to Brady, and we've got a whistle. And who are they charging this to? Dunn with his second, 14th foul. Brady back to the stripe where he is 0 for 2 tonight. Now make it 1 for 3. He's got 3 points. He can't get a fourth. And Peak was fouled from behind by Olinger. 13 fouls, so they're starting to mount up. They're really mounting up for both teams.
Well, and we were spoiled in the first half where both teams kind of were a little cleaner and aggressive, but not as much stoppage on the clock. Yeah. So you didn't have to worry about, it's a 1-and-1 or anything.
Token pressure, but it's been effective tonight. Dunn releases the basketball. Oh, they had Miles wide open in the low blocks. He'll kick it up top. Dunn for 3. Got it! His 4th of the night. 16 points, and just like that, the Pilots back on top. Out of bounds, they're going to call a foul on Stambaugh. And Coach Wolfrum does some kind of interpretive dance to the other end of the bench. He didn't like the call, and now he's composing himself as he walks back to the bench. Well, they have no more to give. Zedike will head to the stripe. He's got 2 points. Came from a basket in the first quarter early. And this one almost popped out, but it falls. This for the lead. And that all-important 30-point mark. Second is on the way. Good-looking rotation, but it's long. Offensive board. Brady is fouled on the way up. He'll head to the line. Miles picks up his first. It's the 6th team foul. And here goes Brady. 1 for 4 tonight. And he breaks the tie. This to make it a 2-point advantage. 2:24 left to go. Ice water in the kid's veins. He drains them both. He's 3 for 6 tonight, but none bigger than those two. And the Jason Candle look-alike, Jake Panico, coming over to it. Now, you tell me if I'm...
No, a little bit.
I was going to say.
I actually earlier was like, he looks familiar, and that's what it is.
I'm not sure what the issue was at the scorer's table. They're sorting out, is it a clock issue or a foul issue?
Fairview foul number 3, Logan Wolfrum, his 2nd.
Okay, so Olinger was the young man that picked up the fouls. did they say second?
They said second, but the scoreboard says third.
Third, and the official came over and signaled 3, so I'm assuming.
But his number's 3, so.
Okay. No need to panic if you're Ayersville, but you got to get the ball across the timeline. Peak doing a good job. Well, he had kept his dribble. Dangerous skip pass to Lloyd. Now they can set up their offense. Dunn has clearly been the hot hand tonight. He's got 16 points, and he cuts through. He's wide open on the weak side. They can't find him. Lloyd didn't even give him a sniff. Dunn, they're going to lay off of him. Got to be careful. He almost dribbled into a double team. And he stripped from behind. Breakaway. Here comes Olinger. Swatted away from behind by Miles. Picked up, and they're going to send him to the line. Wow. And do we have a technical? Did somebody just say or do something that got himself in trouble? So the foul is on Lloyd, his 4th. And then apparently we have a technical on Zedike. Who are they calling it against? Nope, check it, it's 35. It's Noah Schinninger, and he is just fouled out. So we'll have free throws at both ends of the court for different reasons. So to start, at the Fairview end, it will be Olinger to shoot a pair on the foul. And then we'll wait and see, but you've got to guess it's going to be Peak at the other end to shoot the technical. He's by far and away the best free throw shooter for Ayersville at 82%. And Coach Panico wanting clarification, but I'm not sure any answer is going to be satisfactory to him right now. So to stretch the lead, bricks off the base of the iron. Olinger will get a second, and he connects. So now we will move to the other end of the hanger. In a 3-point game, Peak will head to the stripe. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He gets a pair here, 82%. Sophomore taking a little extra time. Rattles home his first. This to make it a 1-point ball game. Deep breath. It's a little unorthodox in his stance. He has his trail foot about a half a foot behind him, and I think he rushed that even after the time he took. It will be Ayersville ball, though. They can tie it with a 2, obviously take the lead with a 3. Inbounds, Miles takes it, immediately picks up his dribble, and a guard's got to come to him. Yeah. Somebody's got to go to him. He's in trouble. Dunn finally does. Coach Wolfrum, I think they're going to run a set here. They're going to hand it off to Peak. That was kind of a pass and screen. Lloyd, here's Dunn, hot hand. They come out to close out on him quickly. No need to rush with $1:20 left to go. Peak sizing up Panico. Dunn has his dribble if he wants it. He'll back it out. Coming up on a minute. Oh, great backdoor cut by Peak, but they missed him. Dunn off the Peak screen. Again, he had daylight, but brings it out. Peak almost off his fingertips. Heat check. Halfway down, it spits out. Battle for the ball. Wrapped up by Brady. And now Ayersville's got to think about fouling. They get it across the timeline. They're going to double team Brady. They give up the foul.
Well, and Brady's been pretty solid from the free throw line here in the last few minutes.
Miles with his second. They'll send Brady back. On the night, he's 3 for 6. But in the fourth quarter, he's 3 for 4. First is on the way. Used every bit of the rim, but got it. This is big to make it a 2-possession game. And he does. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Jackson Brady. And we've got a timeout being called by Coach Wolfrum. We'll keep it here with 37 and 7/10 seconds left. All right, you need 2 possessions.
Yeah.
So here's the question. do you necessarily need a 3 right now?
I don't think so.
If you just need your first best look.
Yeah, I think first best look, and you're really trying to just score as quickly as you can. Because if you wait for if a 3 is open, take it. But realistically, it's not going to be. And so you're going to force it. You're going to waste some time looking for the 3. Just try and get it in. Hey, best case scenario, get a layup and draw the foul. And then turn it for 3 the old-fashioned way.
Either way, crucial that you score here. You cannot come away empty. Number 1, score quickly, as you mentioned, Claire, but also then allows you to get into your press.
Well, and immediately get ready to probably foul. Because that's part of it, too, is you get excited because you just made a bucket, you pull within 2, all of a sudden 5 seconds you've lost, and you're scrambling trying to find who has the ball and foul. And that's going to be key, is to keep your mindset straight.
Well, you got to figure one of 2 players right now, depending on what look they want, but it's got to be either Jeremiah Peak or Dylan Dunn for Ayersville. The stand ball will inbound in front of the Pilot bench. Oh, look at this. They're putting Peak in the backcourt. All right, what are they setting up here? A horns play? Double screen. That's an easy look, and he didn't take it. He didn't drive. Dunn in the middle of the paint, though, makes the baby hook shot. Now Peak all over Panico. He's picked up his dribble. Now they got a foul. 17 seconds left. And timeout by the Apaches. Now, you couldn't afford, if you're Ayersville, to waste for the 10-second call. But again, Jeremiah Peak did exactly what he should have done. He forced Panico to the corner, but they let too much time tick off the clock. Now if you get a steal immediately, you have to foul, don't you?
Yes, you very much so. And hopefully, based on the last few minutes, we're not fouling Jackson Brady.
Yep. As a matter of fact,
that's who they're going to try and put in his hand.
Sure. Either that or I'm going to guess Panico because he's a great ball handler.
Yeah.
But again, only 2 players. I take that back. 1, 2, 3, 4 have shot free throws here in the fourth quarter, but only 1 from the 4-minute mark in, and it's Jackson Brady.
Oh, he's on, yeah.
Panico will be the inbounder. This is interesting. They're running 4 flat, and let's see what they do here. Brady's wide open. They're not fouling. Panico is waiting. They've got a foul. 10 seconds left. They let 8 seconds tick off the clock. It's now 9 and 2/10 seconds to send Fairview to the other end of the gym. Boy, that was a lot of time.
Well, and they didn't really contest the inbound.
No, I'm not sure.
And I mean, you don't want to get beat with the lob, don't get me wrong.
Either way, you're going to foul, though, right? Panico with the first. Boy, the stroke looks pretty good. That's his 10th point of the night. This is huge because if he makes it, it's a 2-possession ball game again. Second is on the way. Got them both.
Ice in his veins.
They got to hustle. Peak across half court. Lloyd throws up a prayer of a 3. No good. Peak pops back. Pump fake. 3 on the way. He hits it, but it's going to be immaterial as it's a 1-point win for Fairview on the road. Final score, Apaches 36, Pilots 35. With the win, Fairview now a game above 500 at 4-3, and more importantly 1-0 in conference play as the Pilots fall to 3-6 and 0-1 to open up GMC play. We're going to catch our breath, get our stats in order, and take a Mark Moats Ford timeout. When we come back, it'll be the Lane 66 postgame show. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
There you see the crowd kind of milling about, heading toward the exits here at the hangar. 36-35, the GMC opener for both visiting Fairview and host Ayersville. And when it came down to it, in a tough-fought, physical, defensive-oriented ball game, 1 point was just enough as the Apaches spoil the GMC home opener for Ayersville by a final of 36-35. We are back with the South 66 postgame show. Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. We believe we will be joined by Apache head coach Jake Panico, possibly a player of his choice. But let's go ahead and break down the unofficial scoring totals for you. Leading all players tonight, and I know this is going to be little consolation for Dylan Dunn, but what a ball game. A career high for the 5'11 junior guard who came into tonight averaging just under 6 points per game. He finished with 18, and I would say single-handedly jump-started the Ayersville offense in that second half. If he doesn't show up tonight, this isn't even a close ball game.
No,
Claire.
not at all. And I think, three three-pointers as well?
4.
4? I mean,
Yep.
And it just right when they needed them to. Gave them a little bit of that energy that they were kind of lacking. Really felt like it sparked the Ayersville offense, definitely in the third quarter for sure. And just was a calm force for them throughout.
Who did score was a bit of a surprise. Not that he's capable of it, but he hasn't. But scoring 3 times his per-game average. Who didn't was equally as a surprise. And say something, or credit more specifically, the Fairview defense for that, as coming into tonight, Jeremiah Peak, the sophomore shooting guard for the Pilots, who averages 16 a ball game, finishes with 9. He only had 3 at the intermission. They just smothered him this evening. He had to work hard just to get touches, much less shots.
He did, and that was something that Coach Pinnacle told you before the game was, I don't care who scores, it's not going to be Jeremiah Peak. We're going to figure out how to shut him down. We're going to really make him work for it, and they did. And credit to Peak for really hustling, putting some things together, and he got that last-second kind of buzzer beater to pull within 1 to end the game.
Well, there's the irony, the extra free throw that Panico made. If he only hits 1, we're still calling this ball game. It's in overtime, but we will get to Fairview scores in just a second. Dane Ewers, who averages 13.5 a game, only scores 6, and he fouled out with a little over 3 minutes left to go in the ball game. So again, Dylan Dunn got his, but the 2 leading scorers for Fairview held well below their averages tonight.
And a good game plan by Coach Panico. You know, gauge out who you need to focus on, and they did just that. And then kind of helps when you're as aggressive as Fairview has been to kind of draw those fouls and put Ewers in foul trouble.
The only other pilot in the scoring column, Owen Lloyd. He got a layup on a fast break back in the third quarter. On the flip side, for the Apaches, only one player in double figures, but there was a lot more balance to get to those 36 points. Levi Panico finishes with 11. He was 2 for 2 from the foul line, but those came in the closing seconds with about 9.4 left, and that second one was huge because with the three that Jeremiah Peak made at the buzzer, it spells the difference in the ballgame.
And you said it right there. I mean, that's a seasoned clutch player, somebody who stays at the gym late, makes sure that they're hitting their free throws. I mean, he is Coach's son, so I'm sure he's been around the game quite a bit. He knows how things go and he knows what's expected, but kudos to him for producing in such a tough, high-pressure moment.
In crunch time, he finishes with 11. Next up, Cale Salyers. He had 8, 5 in the first half, 3 in the second. 7 points for Jackson Brady, 5 of those coming from the free throw line. As a matter of fact, he was 5 of 6 in the fourth quarter, and all but 2 of those coming from the 3-minute mark in. He hit his free throws in crunch time as well.
And that's where, with Panico making the last 2, he might be talked about, or the byline of the newspaper tomorrow, but without Brady's consistency there in the fourth from the line, they wouldn't be in that situation, so kudos to him.
Rounding out the scoring for the starters, and all 5 starters did get in the scoring column. William Zedek with 3 and a deuce for Noah Schinninger, although he fouled out with a minute 43 left to go in the ballgame. They did get 5 bench points, again critical in a 1-point ballgame. 4 off the bench for Jonah Schinninger, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line from Logan Oldinger. It all adds up when every possession, matters the way it did. Fairview got just enough to get out of here with the win, 36-35. They're now 4-3 overall, 1-0 in the GMC. On the flip side, the Pilots fall to 3-6 and 0-1. We're going to take another Mark Moats Ford timeout. When we come back, more of the South 66 Lanes post-game show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Back at the hangar, crowd still mulling around just a little bit as they saw a defensive struggle, but it was a very good ball game. The GMC opener for both teams, and when it came down to it, just enough at the end for visiting Fairview as they knock off Ayersville tonight, 36-35. Not only do they go a game above 500 at 4-3, but they're now 1-0 in conference play. This is a tough loss for Ayersville, especially considering it's on their home court as they fall 3 games below 500 at 3-6, and just as importantly, 0-1 to start out conference play. Brent Balbinot alongside Claire Dow. Again, we anticipate being joined by Coach Jake Panico here shortly as he's working his way through Media Row right now. We broke down the scoring for you. We'll get Coach's take on what he feels maybe was the difference in the ball game. Can also let you know that these two teams don't have really any time to either celebrate or feel sorry for themselves as they are both back in action tomorrow night. For Ayersville, they can sleep in their own beds. They are home versus Continental, a game again in which they should be heavily favored. On the flip side, a little bit more competitive as Fairview gets to host Pettisville. Taking a look at it, coming into this game, averaging 40 points per contest for Ayersville, giving up 57. Defense was tremendous tonight, but offense, they just couldn't find the rhythm that we were talking about. I asked Coach Wolfrum at practice last night, I said, what's Baby Bears porridge? If you score blank, you feel that you are either A, in the game, or be confident that you can walk out of the gym with a win. He said 50 points. He said there's no reason that we can't find that. He said we expect to hold opponents to under 45. They got half of that tonight. Now they just got to put everything together.
Well, and if you look at it, if Peak and Ewers were able to do what they usually do, they would have been at that 50-point mark. But credit to Ayersville kind of shutting down the 2 pain points. They came in knowing that they didn't want Jeremiah Peak to do much damage, and they held him to 3 points in the first half. He finished with 9. A solid game, but they were all over him. They were swarming him from tip-off.
On the flip side, again, 39 points per game is what Fairview had been averaging, so they almost hit their average. They've been giving up 49, but tonight, boy, that defense. And again, when you've got some time off over the Christmas break, and that's exactly what everybody has, it's not just Fairview, but they had the time off. He said, he being, again, Coach Jake Panico, he said, we've been working on a couple things, a little bit of wrinkles that they were going to install offensively, but then defensively, specifically for the scout here for Ayersville, and boy, did it seem to work tonight.
It really did. I mean, did a nice job. You knew the full court press was going to be great. They were electric coming out from the jump.
Well, we usually have VIPs sit in the middle, but Coach, go ahead and grab that headset right there and take a load off as we will frame him up as the South 66 postgame show continues. There he is. Boy, a number of ways we can dive into this one. I guess first things, Coach, congratulations. I'm thinking of a word to try and describe it. Grit just comes to mind. Is that fair?
Oh, that's a positive way to spin it. I appreciate that.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I do want to give my boys credit. I was just over there talking with 105.7, and that's the same thing that I said. We're 7 games in, and we haven't played a pretty game of basketball yet. But we've competed, and every time that we've done something positive, it does come down to I've got kids that are playing hard. I've got kids that really have a will to win, and that's maybe more important than anything else that I'm coaching them right now. Obviously, we have things to work on, especially on our offensive end. We were turning the ball over a lot tonight, and they're just unforced errors, I thought, on our end. So that's something to clean up, but I am starting with kids that want to play, and they go hard.
And didn't seem to lose their focus or their cool in the moment. As a matter of fact, I'd keep, again, a running track here per quarter. You're 10 of 14 from the foul line in the fourth quarter, and all but 6 of those came from the 3-minute mark in crunch time. What's that say about your team's mental toughness?
Right. And so fortitude's super important, and I was actually talking to them in the locker room about that just a minute ago. 10 minutes ago, maybe not. But when I was talking to them in the locker room, they get hung up once in a while on a call that's made or a call that's not made, and I get the frustration, but from a coach's perspective, you have to have the fortitude to move on to the next play. You cannot change what happened, but you certainly can affect what's going to happen next. I have kids that we're working on that fortitude, but being able to step to the free throw line and knock down some free throws like that in the clutch moments of a game that we won by a point, every one of those free throws mattered a lot. And that says a lot about the character of the kids that went to the line.
Well, and just the emotion of it, too, where you had the technical foul, that there was a little bit of confusion there. It can be very easy. High school boys kind of getting the emotions in it, and they did a good job of tempering that.
Yeah, that's absolutely a great way to say it. So trying to control those emotions in a game where it's tight and you have to play for the next moment. Yeah, you're right.
Looking down here at defense, I mean, you got to be happy anytime you hold an opponent to under 40 points. But at the same time, you held the 2 pain points, the 2 leading scorers. Peak comes into tonight averaging 16. Ewers averaging 14. Both those guys had to work just to get touches, much less shots. Talk about your team's defense.
What did they end up with tonight?
Tonight, combined 15. Peak finished with 9, and Ewers with 6. And, of course, he fouls out with a little over 3 minutes left to go. He was a non-factor at that point.
Yeah, I was really proud of the way we handled those 2 kids. And they were the tops on our scouting report. I said that to you, I think, before the game. But the kid that I didn't see coming in the door.
Done.
Right. Sheesh, man. What about that kid? I want to give him some props.
Yeah.
So a lot of these kids, Levi has grown up. They're the same grade as he is. And so I remember them from 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, all the way through. And he's a great kid, and I've really been happy to watch him grow as a basketball player. But I didn't see that one coming tonight. That kid was hot.
Very much so.
Yeah, and just stroking, and sheesh, what a night.
So what did you learn about yourself tonight? Anything that you hadn't saw? Or, again, you got 24 hours, so there's no rest for the weary. But what did this team learn about itself today?
Yeah, we go tomorrow night. We go Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and it's on because it's January, and that's our month. But, I mean, if I am awake in bed tonight thinking about this, and I will be. I'm scratching my head at our inability right now to handle the basketball. That's what I'm hung up on. The turnovers that we had were from kids that I trust a lot, that are solid. That mental fortitude. It's not a physical ability. It's really not a mental ability for those kids. And yet we have a turnover issue right now, and that takes away from a lot of the positive things that you can do in a game if you're not getting shots. So that's my head scratcher right now that I'll be pondering tonight. If I have something to take away that we need to work on.
We are not about reopening old wounds or festering fresh ones.
Fair. I appreciate
what we can say is this: enjoy it at least on the bus ride home. Again, you are home at least tomorrow night versus Pettisville. Good luck to you, not just tomorrow night, but the rest of the way. We appreciate you coming up and joining us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Coach Panico coming up and joining us. We're going to take one last time out. We're going to put a wrap on the South 66 Lanes postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at the hangar, Brent Balbanon alongside Claire Dow as we are putting the wraps on our South 66 Lanes postgame show. Final score: Pilots fall to the Apaches tonight, 36-35. Claire, appreciate you throwing on the headsets. She's going to have a few more games with us again. Appreciate you making the drive over. Hopefully,
this is
you got your first taste of the hangar.
Yeah, the hangar's amazing.
Yep.
Great atmosphere.
Venue. We're going to get you to the Dog Pound, and then we've nicknamed it the Emerald. It doesn't really officially have a nickname, but over at Tenora as well. You're going to see what the Ayersville-Tenora rivalry is all about.
I'm excited.
Pilots fall to 3-6 overall, 0-1 in the GMC. The Apaches now 4-3, 1-0 respectively. Tomorrow night, the Pilots are right back here as they take on Continental, as Pettisville will be making the drive to Fairview, as the Apaches will be the home team. That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. Big thank you going out to our entire crew doing extra work this evening. Big thank you going out to our sponsors helping make the broadcast a possibility. And as always, you the fan for tuning in. For Claire Dow, I'm Brent Balbanot. Final score again tonight: Fairview knocks off Ayersville by a final of 36-35. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.